What's up, guys? Jason and I back at you with another commentating my own race series. Now, this is a continuation on the last one that I did, which was at the November event with FMRRA, their first round of the 2018 season, even though it happened in 2017. So I have a couple more races from this weekend that I'm going to put out. I'm going to try to put them out really quickly. Just get them out there because I got a couple other race weekends that I think you guys will really enjoy. I'm really excited to get those out. So this time is a little bit special because I'm not just doing this by myself. I am joined by my best friend, Don Deacon.
Hey, Jason.
So I don't know if you guys remember Don from, well, if you watch my vlogs, the parts where like I show you kind of behind the scenes of the race weekend, he's been with me like for the last 4 months or so.
Yeah.
And the reason why is because he's such a great guy that he's letting me ride his bike so that I can continue my race season. And what's great is that his bike is exactly the same as my bike as far as the year and model. Obviously the engine's going to be a little different. I mean, the engine's the same, but mine's built a little differently. And the suspension's different too. But he has my old suspension, the suspension I used to ride with, so it didn't take me very long to get up to speed.
That's gotta help.
It definitely does. It's pretty amazing. I was almost right up to speed right away.
Right.
So we are here at PBIR, like I said. This is the Superbike Grande Corsa race, another 12-lap race, like the Superstock, but the restrictions are different because in Superstock you have a lot of restrictions as far as what you can do to the engine and the chassis and whatnot. With Superbike, it's kind of like what anything goes. You could build the engine to the moon if you'd like. The only restriction in this class is, like every other class at FMRRA, is you have to run Sunoco fuel. So that's what we're doing here.
Now, is that fuel tinted?
Tinted?
Tinted. It's got a red tint to it? Or
oh yeah,
tint?
I'm not sure why they do that. Now, that's not how they tell that you're running it. They do have like a tester, a gas tester.
Okay.
And whatever Sunoco does to their fuel, apparently it's different, and this tester could detect it.
Oh, good to know.
So that's how they know. Does it really work? Does it catch some people? I'm not really sure. I think it's caught a couple people, but here we are at the starting grid. We just did our warm-up lap. I'm not going to go over PBIR like I did before as much because you guys have already seen it a bunch of times, but here I am.
Just once or twice.
Probably gridded around 9th.
8th or 9th.
8th or 9th.
Say yeah.
Right, third row. Didn't qualify that well because there's just a lot of traffic. So here we are, just getting ready to go.
Waiting on the grid.
Waiting for the rest of the grid to roll up. Making sure they're checking the grids, making sure. The person with the red flag up there is making sure that we know not to go.
Right.
And once they leave, there's going to be a red light to your upper right, or just to the right of center.
So there's your red light.
And
waiting for it. Go. And they're off. We've got a little bit of delayed start there from Jason. Gets swallowed by the crowd.
Actually, what happened was I started in second, accidentally.
Well, that definitely didn't help your chances there. That puts you probably back around 15th.
Yeah, and then, being swallowed up just ruined my rhythm right off the start. I just was not able to go really hard into turn 1.
Yeah, turn 1, you have been struggling with that a little bit. As we go into turn 3, let's start calling this one
This is turn 4.
Turn 4, let's start calling this one the first hairpin. And then how about fifth
really
being more like a parabolica?
This is more like the turn 5, which we're going to right now, is more like the carousel, right?
Carousel.
Long, sweeping right,
Yeah, like
a little bit banked.
As you can see, he's kind of out there wide a little bit. He gets a good drive. A little bit of a good drive anyway. He's catching up there to the next place.
Right, Dustin Richard right now is the person right in front of me right now. Now, I've already, as you saw, passed quite a few people going like up to this point. Now I just gotta drive harder than he does, which I do.
And we get a good drive onto the drag strip, otherwise known as the back straight.
Now, I gotta say, man, your bike is strong, dude. It makes some good power.
Looks like it does. It'll be interesting to ride it finally.
Yeah, Dustin Richards was also on an R6. I'm not sure what year, but dude, just left him behind.
Kind of liking it.
Breaking into turn 8. No, this is 9, I'm sorry. This is turn 9. Another carousel-like turn into a flip-flop.
And onto the front straight. Now, you probably up to what, like 10th, 12th? Are you back up to your original spot? It's hard to say.
It is definitely hard to say. We don't have like position indicators like they do in the pros.
That would be nice.
That would be amazing. But all I got my GoPros and my lap timer data.
That guy was a little tight on that one. He definitely slowed up.
I squared that up.
On him.
Squared it up and just got by him. Take the inside line going to turn 4. Try to get back on the gas. Trying to close the gap to the next group of 3 that you see.
It always does help to have that somebody in front of you gives you a target to chase, right?
True. But as far as because I was so far back, the targets that I was chasing actually were slowing me down a little bit, right? Because it's hard to you want to pace yourself to your like your best pace.
Get another one.
There you go. But when you have someone in front of you, you gotta have to change your pace, because if you try to just run your pace, you're gonna run into them, run through them, right? So you gotta kind of adjust your lines, adjust your exit points, where you get rolling the throttle and stuff like that. So you're not making up a lot of distance on that guy in front because of that draft, that sweet draft. Braking a little later, going in there. Oh,
trying to get that one.
Yeah, but just going in there a little, it wasn't that I wasn't in there too hot, but I didn't get around him fast enough to
make it stick.
Right? So I had to let him by again. I don't like passing in turn 1. Yeah, leave him a lot of space. Turn 1 is sketchy.
He is all over the place there, though. He can't decide where to turn in.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So going into turn 1, I have a lot of trouble with turn 1 because I'm slamming down 2 gears and essentially just dropping the clutch, and it just causes the rear wheel to dance all over the place. And I'm on my brakes too. So yeah. So I've had some trouble with it, and I just had to realize I had to kind of be turn 1 is not the turn you want to just go too hard in, right? Just take turn 1 to make it, and then take the rest of the track to make up that time.
There you go.
That's what I've been learning,
And it seems to be working for you here.
Yeah, the times when I'm not, when my rear is not all over the place, that's when I'm actually doing the best. When I'm printing the best lap times.
He pushed a little too hard there, giving you a little bit more time as you come around that last turn before the drag strip.
I really like this spot, coming onto the back strip.
Spot. You do get a drive out of there, and you make up a lot of time.
And then if someone's in front of me,
look at you walk away. That is impressive.
That's an impressive engine, man. I gotta say, impressive bike.
Up to 149 that time.
Not too bad. 152 so far is the fastest top speed that I've achieved so far.
This turn seemed to be a little bit better for you than the last lap.
Oh yeah, and I had no one in front of me, kind of pushing me off to the side. So we're already through 3 laps. My best lap time so far is a 125.240. Definitely not even close to my best pace, which that weekend I think was a 122 something.
Right.
So got a little bit ways to go.
But back on the gas, trying to catch the next spot, going into turn 4 here.
But that was kind of tough because even though I probably had a better drive, I wasn't close enough. But the guy in front of me is Adrian Mitchell, amateur racing in this for the amateur championship. He's actually pretty decent on the brakes.
It definitely appeared to be that way.
Yeah, but
boy, you're getting a better drive out of that one.
Yeah, I kind of have him on the corner speed and the drive, and that's one of the more important things. Is going into turns to help pass. That's fine, but where you really make your money is on the exits. If you could get behind someone and you could get a better exit out than they are, then you have a much better chance of getting to the next turn than they do.
And here comes that draft again. Leslie flies right on by like he's standing still. Down the drag strip.
Yeah, just leaving it behind, man. that engine is strong. And it's a stock engine. Completely stock engine. It's got a Power Commander 5 on it. Oh, look at that. Look at that wiggle.
Little much on the brakes there. Yeah. Lets him right on back by. Now he's got to do it all over again.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think something might have happened. I might have missed 1 gear.
Got a false neutral, maybe?
No, I didn't get a false neutral. I don't know. It was just dancing all over the place. I just couldn't. Maybe I went down the first. I'm not sure.
Did you end it a little bit?
Yeah. No, not that time. All right,
a little bit better into turn 1, coming out of 2, and around 3. Gets a little bit of drive on Adrian. Going into turn 4, deep on the brakes. Real tight. Adrian's doing a good job blocking Jason here. And by blocking, I just mean protecting his line. I don't mean physically trying to block him and push him off the bike or anything like Mad Max style. But here we go into the carousel, turn 5. This is a much tighter line for Jason than you've seen in the past couple laps, but it looks like he does seem to get a little bit better drive out of that 5. And up underneath, Adrian coming up here. Oh, just can't quite make it.
Yeah.
Into the chicane.
I let off. I'll be honest. I let off a little bit, because I didn't want to make one of those shifty passes, I'm an amateur racer. I'm expert, but I'm a club racer, just out there having fun. I gotta go work on Monday kind of deal.
Absolutely.
So it has cost me a little bit. I won't lie. Not being aggressive enough. I could probably be aggressive and still be safe, but I just don't want to put anybody else in a precarious position with one of my passes.
You're not pro. You're more of a weekend warrior, and that's nothing to be ashamed of. Right. and he gets by him just fine this time. Doesn't go deep into 9, and comes around the last turn onto the front straight. This time he's pushing a 1:24.9. That seems to be his fastest lap of the race. Going into turn 1, nice and tight. Picks it up for 2 and over for 2, and picks it right back up on the gas for 3. Here we come out of 3, and it looks like he's got a ways to go to catch anybody in front of him, but he is on a mission. You see him up there right around turn 4. They will be coming up into your view here shortly before he gets into 5.
How shortly? We'll see.
Okay, well, maybe not before 5. Maybe after 5.
But now that I got some clear track, you know, I think at this point I was starting to feel the rhythm come back to me, you know, and not having anybody hold me up. When there's, like I said before, when there's someone in front of me, it messes with my pace a little bit, you know. So unless they're much faster than me, in that case, if they're faster than me, not much faster, but if they're faster than me, then I could kind of take their pace and make it my own, you know. So a lot of times, you know, I'm a fox. You know, we have like you could be one or two people. You could be a fox or a rabbit. A rabbit is someone that could just be fast without anybody in front of them. They can set their own pace really well.
Run away.
And then the foxes are the people that do really well chasing. You know, and I'm a little more of a fox than I am a rabbit, because if I have someone, like I said, a little faster in front of me, it helps actually, you know, change my pace to be a little faster, to match theirs a bit more, and sometimes even exceed that.
Right.
Sometimes, you know, like sometimes there's just no hope.
Ooh, and another fast lap, a 1:23.5. Let's see how he handles turn 1 this time.
That's more than a second and a half. That's about a second and a half faster than
just
the lap before. So you see, clean track made a big difference as far as my lap time go. Now I'll be honest, you know, I've watched this a couple times, but I don't remember what my best lap time is. So maybe it's this one, maybe it's not.
We'll find out. Round turn 4 we go. Where we stop, it's the end of the track. So here we go. Round the carousel, turn 5. Still clean track, nice and tidy. Just a nice even throttle. Back on the gas, nice and hard. Here we go, up to 100 miles an hour right there. Back down to about 75, 60, all the way down to 50 miles an hour for the chicane. Last turn before the back straight.
The drag strip, as we have so named it.
Yes, sir.
Because that's basically what it is. On the other side of that wall to your left is a drag strip.
Right. And it's about a quarter mile straight here, so it kind of works out.
It's definitely one of the longer straights of a lot of tracks in the United States.
150 on that one.
Well, a little bit of wiggle there.
A lot of wiggle.
Takes me out wide.
See if you can square it up.
I gotta do something about that. I gotta learn how to control that, or just run with it, you know?
What do you think that wiggle is?
So basically, you know, I'm on the brakes really hard. That's a really hard braking zone. I am slamming down gear. I'm going down from 5th to 2nd in that turn. So, you know, like there's a lot of drag on the drivetrain, right? Because, you know, like you can't like if you go that straight down, your engine can't rev past, you know, where it is. So it basically just slows the wheel down faster than the bike does. So that's it just causes it to be light and causes it to kind of skip a little bit over the pavement. And then because of that, you know, like, so it's kind of dancing around a little bit, and my body might have something to do with accentuating that dancing a little bit.
Sure.
So,
all right, here we go back into the chicane. Ooh, not quite as slow through there that time. Gets down to about 55 miles an hour. And 52-ish, 54 base speed there before he's back onto the drag strip.
Let's see if I could beat that top speed of 152. I'm not sure if I can actually. It might be.
Might have been underneath a little bit of a drag there.
148.
148. Yeah, I don't think. Yeah.
But top speed doesn't actually mean anything, right? Because like you can have a slower top speed. Yeah, you have a slower top speed, but still be faster in lap times.
Right.
Yeah, because you're faster around the turns. You carry more, you know, like corner speed.
All right, lap 8, 1:23.5.
So I was
a little bit faster, only about 500ths
of 500ths
of a second there faster.
So insignificant, to be honest.
But still significant. That's still about 100 yards at the speeds you're going.
So
you do seem to be pulling in the riders right in front of you just a little bit.
Just a little
by
bit.
little. You can actually see them going into 5, like I said you would have a couple laps ago.
Right. We still got about 3 laps to go. Like I said, this is a 12-lap race. So that's one of the things I like about the Grande Corsa series, being longer races. Now, it is definitely more tiring to do. I did definitely feel tired after this race, but having that extra time to catch up, because now mistakes, you still can't make mistakes, but the mistakes you make, you have more of an opportunity to make up for those mistakes. Versus the sprints, which are about 5 or 6 laps in most cases, you make a mistake, you're done. There's just almost no catching up.
Yeah.
At least to the people that you should be, battling with. Another 149. We're only talking about 3 miles per hour difference. It's actually not that significant at all.
No, but you are catching up to the next rider here. And it's a group, so you might get a couple more spots here. That's always a good thing to see. Right. And across the line, a 1:23.1. That is the fastest lap of the race for Jason today.
Another 4/10.
And he picks it up a little slow going into turn 2. Ooh, it looks like he was pushing just a little bit there. Now around 2 into 3. Does leave a little bit more gap to the rider in front of him, but here he is under the brakes and be able to catch up just a little bit more. Maybe he can pull that speed back in. Pull that corner just a little bit tighter. There you go. No, not quite. Back on the gas into the carousel. Look at him just pull in the next rider.
Yeah, that bike, your bike handles great. That's one of the things, after I relearned how great it handles, trail braking in turns, I got a lot better around these corners, afterwards, after this whole race weekend.
Okay.
Being able to really just feel the bike going into turns and trail brake, meaning that I could go into turns much faster than a lot of people.
And back in the draft, and by him with ease. And on to the next 2 riders that you see up ahead of you.
Now, if not mistaken, those 2 riders ahead of me are going to be Alex Capellan and Darren Martin. Darren Martin's my teammate. Goes really good around here, and then I think this weekend and the other weekend that we did after this, he was a little not feeling it quite as much, but still going 122s, 123s,
Right.
So, he's going pretty good.
Now, getting around that other rider, you lost a little bit of time there. Of course,
man.
that could have been that too, and then here we are, the same issue as the previous lap. We went a little bit deep into turn 1 there. What happened there?
So you saw that whole shake, right? Going in there. And as it's shaking, I can't really pull the bike down to lean it. So I just start pushing it out towards the edge of that, edge of turn 1. And
that's a little harrowing.
It gets you a little bit in the mind, You're like, I can't tell you how many times I've blown turn 1 in practice and whatnot, just because the bike gets really kind of uncontrollable. So, like I said, I learned to be I'll sacrifice a little bit into turn 1 if it can make me better through the rest of the track. But not this race, apparently.
Yeah. And back on the gas severely here for the back straight. The other guys are just a little out of reach. You get 1 more lap to try and catch them. It's gonna be a tough order, but I think you might get them a little bit.
I did make up that mistake for sure, and it seems like they are a lot closer than they were this past lap. So
you definitely are getting the accordion effect in the turns from the speed differentials. But
all right, white flag is out. This is the last lap.
Here we go. Get a good turn 1. No, lot of wiggle on turn 1.
Again,
almost gets the cones.
I actually went outside the line on that one.
A little bit. You didn't go through.
Did that just ruin my chance at catching those 2 guys in front?
It looks like it might have, but you
got a lot of space to make up.
Got a lot of lap to go. There's still a lot to go.
But that's a lot of space too.
That is, and these guys are not slow.
They are not slow at all.
We're almost to the line right there, and into the carousel. Seems it was shaking you up a little bit there, but that was a nice tidy turn.
I mean, I wasn't shaking like that. Going to turn 1 and not making it completely, it didn't really affect me for the rest of the lap. It's just, oh man,
it's more frustrating.
But there was a fire lit under my ass after seeing that white flag. I'm like, oh, I gotta try everything I can to catch up to these people.
Right.
But man, they are far right now.
Racing. Yeah, they're just little dots in the screen right here, but that's the camera effect of the wide angle lens. And we are down the back straight, almost coming up to turn 9. And a 149 on the top speed there, goes out a little bit wide, trying to square it off, just trying to make up the speed of the gap here, and just doesn't have enough time. And it looks like Darren's out front, and he is across the line. And now Jason.
And that's
is
it.
across the line.
That's
is
last
the line.
lap, 124.3.
That's a good race, sir.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad.
Little screw up in the beginning with the little
Big screw up in the beginning.
wrong gear selection for the start, but that's but you made up quite a bit of time. I'm impressed. That's
yeah,
quite nice.
And honestly, with that lap time, 123.1, comparing it to the rest of the people, because we had access to our lap times, all throughout the day, through My Laps or the Speed Hive, app on our phone. So they had live timing, which we could look up on our phones. And the 123.1, though not actually that fast around this place. I mean, it is fast. Don't get me wrong. A lot of people would be like, "Oh, I wish I could run 123." Now, I'm not trying to to my own horn here. It is going pretty good. But it turned out that that lap time, 123.1, was among the top 3 or 4 fastest lap times of that race.
Okay.
So if I didn't mess up in the beginning, starting in second gear, I could have potentially been fighting towards the front, versus where I landed. I think I still landed 4th or 5th in this race. So it wasn't a horrible result. I had a lot of places to make up.
And there goes Doug. It was actually Doug ahead of us.
Right.
Us. I say us. It's my bike. I'm taking responsibility.
You're taking some credit. Yeah.
That's right.
And rightfully so, man. Like I said, the bike is amazing. I can't thank you enough for letting me ride it.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. I'm just glad somebody's getting to ride it. I really am.
Yeah. And it just helps that it's the same bike as mine. And it has a familiar suspension and everything. We said this many times already before, but
yeah. And we'll keep saying it. And here we're back around turn 9, going back into the pits.
An outside pit entrance. So, guys, what do you guys think? I'd like to know. What do you think about having a guest co-host on this commentating series? Did it make it more exciting? Did it make it more fun for you guys to listen to? Yeah, I hope so too, because I had fun doing this.
I did too. It was really fun.
Yeah, and it really helps, because sometimes when I'm talking by myself, it just kind of it's hard to think of what to say, but when you have someone to kind of bounce some of the things that you're saying,
I guess you didn't podium because you didn't have to stop.
Yeah, so the podium places for both amateur and expert have to do some gas testing. They'll draw a little bit of gas out and test it, like we said in the beginning. Anyway, we're gonna go ahead and draw this video to a close. Hit that like button if you enjoyed this video. If you liked Don, doing it, leave me a comment below saying that, hey, more guest hosts, more Don, more something.
Or somebody else. I mean, that's fine too.
Sure. And if you haven't subscribed, please consider doing so. I'd really appreciate that. And with all that said, we'll see you guys in the next one.
Bye.